Hey everybody, it's the Mad Master here. I'm doing a video today and I'm pretty exacerbated by a lot of things that are going on and a lot of opinions and narratives that are being pushed right now. And this is kind of a thing that I'm going to come to, to admit about why and how. I'm probably going to be revealing a lot of things about my life in some of these videos in the next, year or so that I haven't admitted before. They're not surprised to people that know me really well, but I just feel like, admitting things. Now, this trigger, so to speak, came from this article about Dave Ellefson of Megadeth. As we know, he was caught wanking on a Zoom video with this girl that was 18 or 19 at the time, and supposedly started talking to her when she was 17. She voluntarily gave him her number, and she says everything was consensual at this current time. Now, I'm not saying it's right, ethically or morally. I'm not saying that it's a good thing. I'm not saying that. But it was what it was, and someone came out and exposed this video and made these accusations. Another party, and as you've seen from my Dave Ellefson videos before when I talk about him, the former bass player of Megadeth. So it was an article about him, and it was unrelated to the whole incident. And someone said, I do not quote because I don't remember the exact thing, but like, oh, he groomed her. Wait for it. Prefrontal cortex isn't developed enough at that age, so it's not good grooming. Yeah. So, I'm just going to say this whole narrative that an older guy cannot even talk or hit on a girl that's of a certain age has really stalled my skills in dating, or me even. It's frozen me in this place of, dare I say, from the seduction community, pickup artist community thing. I'm going to just incorporate a little bit of that in there. The old school manosphere, not the Andrew Tate, stuff. I'm not saying that he doesn't have some, he's not completely bad about everything. I'm just saying, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about David D'Angelo or Neil Strauss or people like that. And I used to be, I was into that for a long time, and I tried some of the stuff out, and it seemed to go in a certain direction, and then I hit a fucking roadblock, and it's happened again and again. And this is one of the biggest roadblocks the last couple of years, because this whole narrative that if I go out there and see someone at a bar, say, and I find them attractive, and they're old enough to get to a bar, but this nebulous age where they could be 22, they could be 30 or something, let's just be reasonable here. And I'm not supposed to try. I'm not, because I'm of a certain age, because I'd be grooming them because their prefrontal cortex, their prefrontal, they can drive, they can fucking drink, they can join the fucking military, and they can do all this stuff, but somehow they're a victim because I'm gonna hit on them, or more than that. You don't know how this has affected me quite a bit. It's like a fucking virus. It's the woke mind virus, basically, but it's infected my brain in a way that I'm like, oh my God, so I can't do anything. Shit. So I'll try to go out with someone who wants to go out and, hit on some women or whatever, wherever. And I'll just be, I'll have to resort to using money. I'm serious. This is an admission I'm making. I have to say, okay, I'm going to give you $40 of myself, and I'll go like approach 5 women. You could give me the $40 back. That's how bad it's gotten. I'm afraid of doing these things because of this stupid bullshit. It's like guilt and like, I don't know if it's guilt. I'm not guilty. I hate it so much. It just like makes me like, ugh, it just makes me sick. It makes me feel really bad about things and about myself. And I'm like, okay, so I'm not supposed to get better at this. I'm just supposed to like settle into like dating a woman my own age who is not as attractive that I meet online, because that's the only socially acceptable way to do it, right? Because you can't go head on women you don't know, because you don't have a social circle that has a lot of women. But you can't date women at work because that's bad. That's pissing your own bed. This is the stuff that goes in my brain. People have to realize this. And this is why it's been a while since, you know, I've been dating or anything. And my last date was 22 years old, of course. And at the time, I was of a certain age. The Secret of Life from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I believe that's how old I was, if I can remember. That at the time that I had my last date. So I've been in this trap, this kind of this mind trap for a while, dealing with this stuff. And I shouldn't care what people think, especially about this stuff. I'm going to posit a possibility, though. So Ashton Kutcher, the famous actor, was in his early 20s when he met Demi Moore. And there's a lot of articles about the prefrontal cortex not developing until, in men, not until 25, but until 30. Not until 30. So that was very problematic. It was basically rape. Demi Moore groomed Ashton Kutcher. Oh my God, she should be arrested and shamed and canceled by everybody. Demi Moore. Oh my God. So this whole thing. And King Diamond as well, I've talked about him. I believe he met his wife when she was pretty young. I'm not going to speculate how young. But in Europe, it's a little different, I guess. But, you know, still, he met her I think she's from Bulgaria or something. But yeah, I mean, you know, like this whole thing, this has gotten this far. It's like this weird, like, extreme feminist, like, making women into a perpetual victim about everything. No culpability, no agency on their part. Into just the whole, you know, painting that narrative across the board. You can't even. This is why, you know, as a person with like probably OCD, sort of diagnosed, and anxiety and depression, this is like worse than anything. Because it's like, I'm just coming out and saying this shit. I'm just going to admit, like, this hitting you this hard. Like, oh my God. I can't even look at a girl if she's like under 30. And I don't know if they're under 30 because I can't tell people's ages that well if they look a certain way. I used to card people at Walgreens that were like 50 years old. Because we were supposed to, like, under 27, we were supposed to card people. And some of the women wore a lot of makeup and they, you know. So I can't, so it just freezes me. No, sir. No, sir. Mr. Soy. Mr. Soy, I ask permission for you to be my cuck. And I will ask for affirmative consent to your wife. To have sex with your age-appropriate wife. May I please, sir? You know, it's like, what am I supposed to do at this point, you know? It's just, I'm so lost and it's so fucked up. I'm just being honest. Like, this is the worst. Not to mention there's other things I'm not going to mention in this video that are affecting things too. I'm not going to talk about that in this video, but I will in the future. So maybe. I don't know. There's various things that are going on right now. So this whole notion is just so erroneously stupid that I can't even begin to imagine, like, what is this excuse? Like, oh, well, there's a certain part of your brain that didn't develop. So look, so if a 24-year-old went and murdered someone, we could say, well, they shouldn't go to prison because their prefrontal cortex isn't developed enough, so they're not mature enough to make their own decisions. What the fuck is wrong with people, man? Oh my God. This is the dumbest shit ever. This prefrontal cortex bullshit. Shut the fuck up. People are either adults or they're not. If you're gonna ban, like, a 45-year-old going after a 22-year-old or something, why don't you, like, try to legislate it? Try to get, like, a group of activists together. It's like, this is such an outrage. You know, just stop. You know, ban public flirting. I think they tried to sort of do that in like parts of Europe, like France and I think England. Some weird laws were proposed. Ban that. Just make people be alone. Okay, I'm just gonna go on OkCupid and only date women 38 and up and have 5 kids and are super fat and ugly and have shit on their face. There was this woman like on Tinder all over it. I kept or she was like liking me and shit. All this fucking shit on like on her face and stuff. It was gross. It's like I try my best to look good for pictures. It's like you don't even put any thought into it. If you have this shit, go to a dermatologist. You know, I've had shit removed from dermatologists. You can go to a dermatologist and get shit removed. Like I have this mole that I probably should get rid of. I don't know. People, who gives a fuck anyways? You can hardly see it, but it's like, what the hell? You think I'm gonna date someone like that? You think I'm gonna fall in love with someone like that? How the fuck? What the fuck is wrong with people? This is what you have to face on online dating if you're older. Like, just if you're like a little older, just all these women you're not attracted. I'm just not attracted to most of the women online. And I meet them in person and they're even bigger than their pictures. They like use 10-year-old pictures and shit. You think I'm gonna fucking stagnate even more than I have and not try to get better and to get more social and talk to more women that haven't the prefrontal cortex isn't developed enough? Fuck you. That's all.